Yeah. Tell you, I go to the gym like just about every day, and hiking the AT, that's like the best workout. Plus you get to be out in nature, but wow, definitely gotta hit that treadmill a little harder. So beautiful. Hey everyone, so made it out to the Appalachian Trail. Decided on going to Connecticut. Gonna do some winter hiking instead, maybe a long weekend. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be literally freezing. That's actually, I think it's pretty close to freezing right now. Definitely tonight, I think it's gonna drop into like the high teens, which it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an adventure. You know, I've hiked in the cold, I've hiked in the snow, but not quite this cold, and it's been a while. So it's gonna be a nice little, it's gonna be fun. I've never actually thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail. I attempted it once, made it about 2 months. I had to get off. I ended up getting scabies. It must have been at me and the whole group that I was with, so we had to get off for like a couple of weeks, take creams, all this other crap. So yeah, by the time that was done with, I already lost my group, lost my bubble, and I was kind of over it. Unfortunately, I kind of regret it, but it is what it is. But I've also done a lot of like week-long trips, weekend trips. I've spent months and months and months just hiking and picked up a lot of knowledge along the way. So I want to share some of that with you guys. So yeah, so that's what this video is going to be about. A bunch of tips and tricks, and yeah, what a better time to show it than right on the trail. So here we go. Let me show you guys around. All right, these are the white blazes. That's for the Appalachian Trail. You also see the same thing, but in blue. Those are side trails. So as long as you keep following the white, you'll know that you're heading in the right direction. You're on the Appalachian Trail. You get a little lost, you just double back to the last one you've seen and just look around. They're usually every like 20 feet or so it's pretty hard to get lost. So this is a typical shelter. You'll see one of these every, I don't know, 10, 20 miles or so on the Appalachian Trail. There usually will be some type of rake or what do you call it, broom or something like that, just so you can sweep it all out. You could sleep inside. You get a ton of mosquitoes and mice. But if if the temperature's right, you can go ahead and go for it. I usually tent. So there's a bunch of tent spots. I guess you can see I already have my tent laid out right there. What else? Oh, another thing. They usually have some type of box right here, a journal box, where you could take it out and you could just write your name, whatever interesting thing you've seen. You can leave messages for the people behind you, or read messages for the people in front of you, so these guys can link up again. Usually you could go ahead and light a fire. In this case, I was actually kind of surprised you can't light a fire. Only stoves only, it says right here. Which kind of a letdown, because I was really looking forward to lighting a fire, especially in the cold, but it is what it is. Another tip, you're going to see these little pegs on the shelters. Definitely recommend hanging your bag. In this case, there's a bear box right down there, so I guess there's been a lot of black bears around here, so in that case you want to hang it in the tree or stick it in the box. Never heard of anybody actually being attacked or having their stuff taken by bears, but you don't want to be the first one. The biggest reason to go ahead and hang this up, even if there isn't any bears around, is mice. I've actually seen a good handful of time where people would have little holes in it. It'll ruin their bags. The mice at night will actually chew through the bag to get at the food. So either don't leave food in the bag or hang it up. Every shelter usually has an outhouse. You could see, I believe right behind me, it's kind of hard to see, right there, that little green thing. So this is a typical outhouse. So usually just a pit, so you just go in there obviously, and it just leaves, you just dump over it. Yeah, nothing much. So obviously you want to bring your own toilet paper. It's an outhouse. Half the time, probably a little more than half the time, you'll have an outhouse. You just go, use the bathroom, dump some whatever, leaves or something over it. Or if not, you just have to go, you know, go about 100 feet or so away from the shelter, dig a hole, and let it, you know, do what you got to do. This case is actually a wash pit. Don't see so many of these, at least I didn't, but I think I've seen a handful of them along the way. You see right there. There's a closer look at it right there. And you could just go ahead and just dump it all out. So you could just, you know, wash your dishes or whatever when you're done. Every shelter also has some type of access to water, so you can fill up your bladder, your water bags. What I do, most people have the Sawyer squeeze, or you can have the, I forget the other name, but it's like the hand pump one, but the Sawyer squeeze is so much easier. I mean, you just load up the water in whatever bottle, and you screw the Sawyer squeeze right on top of it. You guys can see, I have another video, a gear list video that I made just before this one. You guys can go there and check it all out. So as far as bags go, this is a 40 liter. Usually you'll see anywhere from 30 to a 50 liter, so 40 would be your average. Especially if you're going to be coming in from out of the country, out of the state, you could just have it as a carry-on. You just wait to pick up a gas or a knife, and you know, those things you can't carry on when you actually get here. It's cheap enough and you can find it everywhere. Usually, so obviously you also want to have a rain cover for it, because you're definitely going to get caught in plenty of rain. Also, what I do, a lot of people do, is they'll have a trash bag as a liner on the inside, just as a, you know, precaution. And I have an extra one, and I actually use the trash bag as kind of like a kilt or a skirt or whatever. So when I'm doing my laundry, I could just throw the trash bag on, and you can wash all your clothes in one shot when you stop in town. Sounds pretty silly, but when you get on the trail, believe me, it's going to be makes things a lot easier, and yeah, it's a good little trick. This here, so I'm going to go ahead and set up the tent. Now, as far as the tent goes, obviously you want a one-man tent, as light as possible. So there's a trade-off between being light and being comfortable, and also expense. The lighter you go, the more it costs. And I noticed it doesn't last as long, like those ultra, I forgot what they call it, not microfiber, it's some special type of material, but I noticed they break down so easy. They're made out of like bags and tents and everything else, but it's that ultra lightweight, I forget the name of it. But anyways, so you want, obviously a one-man tent. Have one with the mesh, so you can see right there. I'm gonna go ahead and set that up. Okay, so I just put the tent together. So it was really simple. It was just these two poles. Just put them all, pieced them together, popped them in, and then just clipped it. You can see the little clips right there. It took me literally like a minute or two to put it all together. And then I'm going to show you after, but there's also a cover that goes over it. This in the summer months you go ahead and use, so you can see it has like that mesh, so it's really breathable, but it keeps the bugs out. And you could also just go ahead and put it together like that and stick it in the shelter. And so just in case it rains, or if the top is ripped or whatever reason, definitely recommend this kind of style. So obviously you could get the breathable, and you could maybe even take a peek at the stars or whatever at night. But you want something quick. I made the mistake of one of my hikes. I believe it was a week-long hike in, I think it's Massachusetts, and got caught in a rainstorm. And the tent I had must have been like the most complicated tent you could get. I mean, I had to put it together. I mean, it took like 10 minutes to put together. Doesn't sound like a long time, but in a rainstorm, that's huge. I mean, everything ended up getting soaked. So you want something like this, you can pop up in literally like 2 minutes. You can put the fly over it and be done with it, you know? Great setup. All right, let me show you how it looks with the top. You can see that's how it looks with the top over it, the rain guard or fly, whatever it's called. I just have to tie up the sides. But you can see I like this style because it gives you like a little patio, a little area here that's protected by the rain, and you can put your pack there. So if you can't make it to a shelter and you have to just like pull off to some little space you find along the way, again, you can put your bag there. Or what I actually did, I picked up a couple of sticks, and you just stake them into the ground, and you could put like your whatever, you could put like socks or something up, and you kind of let it dry just in case it's raining out, or at least get it a little drier. Or you could just sleep with them. But So yeah, that's what I recommend. So you get a tent that has a mesh, one person tent as light as possible, and then one that has like this little overhang here. So as far as bags go, most people bring about a 20. Some people swap out. So you could start off with like a 0 degree or a 20 degree bag, depending on how early you want to start. A little, I guess, what's the saying? It's something like, so for example, I use a 20. Most people are going to use a 20 the whole way. Or like I said, you can switch out, go from a 0 or a 10 to like a 20 or a 30, you know, when you go further down, and then switch back. So the thing with that is so in my case, the 20 degree bag, that's survivable. So if it's 20 degrees out and I have my bag, it's gonna be, I'm probably not gonna sleep very well. It's gonna be very uncomfortable, way too cold. I believe it's like 20 degrees above. So if you get 10 degrees above that at 30, you'll be a little bit more comfortable, still be pretty cold. At 40 degrees, which is 20 degrees, you know, on top of the 20, that's comfortable. That's where it usually lies at. What you could do, make it a little easier, is bring a liner. A couple of reasons for this. One, it'll increase the bag temperature by about 10 degrees. And two, it'll keep the bag clean, so you don't have to wash the bag or sun dry the bag as often. You could just pop this with your laundry, you know, whenever you do your laundry every week or so. So yeah, so that's for the sleeping bag. I definitely want to go with Mummy, and you could go with Goose Down, or you could go with synthetic. I don't go with the Goose Down, one, because it's super expensive, but also you take a chance of ruining it. If you I think the newer material, they're kind of like a blend of synthetic and goose or something like that, so you could wash them. But if you get it wet, I've never had one, so I don't know, but I heard stories of, like, you know, people getting it wet and it just loses its thermal value. I don't know if I said it right, but you know, you guys get what I mean. So I go with synthetic. It's a little bulkier though, so it's going to take up more room, and it may even weigh a little bit more. But that's what I go with. So neat little trick is, so I came out in the middle of March, and they ended up getting like some really bad weather for like the first few days I went out there. It actually snowed like an inch or two, and I wasn't as prepared. I brought a sweater. I had like a light sweater, 20 degree bag, and I was just shivering. But luckily I brought a few hand warmers with me. And what I did was I popped a couple, put them on both armpits, and it definitely bumped up the temperature on me. So if you're gonna go early March or something like that, definitely recommend bringing a few of those, just to be on the safe side. You know, you can pop a few and, you know, put them on, you know, vital areas in the body. So as far as filtering water, most people use soy squeeze. So with this, you could just screw that right on the end of a water bottle, soda bottle. A lot of people use Smart water bottles. I guess it's like it's a name brand of this water company or whatever. I think a lot of people just do it because they see other people doing it. I think the only really advantage to it is that it's usually like 1 liter. So you could just have a couple of them, put them on the side of your bag, and you just go ahead and swap it out. But any water bottle will fit. Any water bottle will work. I mean, they usually come with bladders, but they're notorious for busting. You know, especially over time, they're gonna start to get clogged up a little bit. They come with a little syringe. You can blow them back, and just get it flowing a little bit better. But it's still kind of tough. So what I do is I always use a 2 liter bag, soda bottle, and fill this up with water. If you have a stream like I do right here in the back, where it's kind of tough to gather a lot of water, I'll have like a little cup. It's part of my mess kit, and I'll just dump that in there, fill up this 2 liter bag. Bottle. Jeez, need another coffee, I think. Go ahead and put the soy squeeze on there. So what I do is I actually grab the 2 liter bottle. I put it on the rock or whatever by the little stream, and just step on it. Put my little my bladder right underneath it. Just catch the water as I'm slowly pressing down on it. That's more towards the end, you know, when it starts to get clogged up a little bit. You could even just kind of put it in between your arms and just kind of like, full Nelson it, or whatever you call it, choke it, you know, get it to go. Should be good enough. You can even hang it upside down if you're going to be spending the, we call it the night you're at the shelter or something like that. You know, if you have some way of hanging it, you can hang it up and just have it just drip right in. Someone mentioned that there's also the mini. you could use. I had the soya squeeze. I don't believe in like just buying stuff just to buy it. I mean, if I had it, I'm going to use it. So I had that from another trip. But I've seen other people use the mini, and from what I understand, I think you could actually tie it into like the hose on your camel bag, your water bag, and you could just suck it out. So you could go ahead and put the dirty water right into your bladder, your camel bag, whatever, and just suck it through the filter and just constantly drink fresh water. So that might even be a little easier. As far as hygiene goes, you're going to be smelly. Don't bring deodorant. Don't bring gel. Don't bring 99% of what you're thinking about bringing if this is your first time coming out. Because you're not going to need any of it, and you're going to end up dumping it all. See it all the time, every time. So yeah, you're going to see there's like little boxes along the way at every like shelter and every like what do you call it, outfitters, where it's just loaded with like a bunch of stuff. So you just want the basic stuff. Toothbrush, some toothpaste, I don't know, maybe some, those Qtips, whatever it's called, some floss, and baby wipes. You're not going to shower. You're going to shower when you hit town. That's going to be when you resupply, probably every few days. So you're going to stink. You're going to smell like a dying bum. Yeah, there's no way around it. So no deodorant, no none of that stuff. You just tough it out. After a while, you get used to it. Everyone around you gets used to it, and that's just, you hike a trash now. That's just a saying that they have in the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, so that's all you need. You don't need a whole lot. Now, something you're definitely going to eventually have is some type of foot problem. You're going to have blisters 99% of the time. So you definitely want to go ahead and break in your hiking shoes before you come out. You want to take it to the gym with you, take it for walks around, whatever. Break it in a good couple weeks or a little bit before that. So when you come out on the trail, they're broken in. You get less blisters that way, less issues with your, seems to be knees, ankles, and the feet. Those are the main things. I've seen so many people go out because of that. So protect yourself, make sure you have good shoes, and get some exercise too. Get a lot of hiking in before you actually even come out. It could save your trip, and make it more comfortable. So definitely do that. A big thing with saving your feet as far as blisters goes, you want to have sock liners. So you're gonna have your regular socks, and beneath that, sock liners. So basically just a thinner set of socks. And what that does, it prevents it from rubbing. So the two socks will rub and stop your feet from rubbing against your sock or your shoe or whatever and causing a blister. If you do start to get a hot spot, you have to take care of it right away. Just as soon as you start to feel it starting to burn a little bit, you feel like there's a blister coming on, stop. Take a break, take your shoes off, figure out what's going on. Make sure your laces are laced up right. Make sure there's no, your socks aren't bunched up or something like that. That's getting in the way, that's causing it. And then some people use moleskin, but it doesn't last. When you're hiking, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours a day, that's gonna just fall right off. The adhesive isn't as good as like duct tape. People use duct tape. That's like a big Appalachian hike hack. So so you just clean it, do whatever you got to do, figure out, if there's nothing in the way, you go ahead and just rip off a piece of duct tape, pop it on, and just keep going, keep hiking. And then when you get to the end, you peel it off and you just let yourself relax. And then you always want to bring an extra pair of I wouldn't recommend flip-flops, because I made that mistake, and a lot of times you have to go downhill to grab water. So yeah, they lasted like 2 days and they ended up breaking. So a lot of people bring like Crocs or something like that. Just a really light, breathable pair of just camp shoes. So it's just comfortable. You let your feet breathe. You let your shoes breathe and just dry out a little bit. Now, as far as clothes goes, obviously you don't bring any cotton or anything like that. You want to go with, I'm just going for the weekend, so I'm not really taking it too serious. It's not that big of a deal for me, but if you're going to be hiking long distance, you definitely want to go with, they cost a little bit more, but you're better off with them. Like some of those special, like go to REI or something like that and pick up something with like that plastic, like the nylon or polyester or something like that. Something that's breathable, something that's not gonna soak up all the moisture. If you use cotton, you can get hypothermic at like 70 degrees, 60 degrees. It's actually happened to me on one long trip. So yeah, so you definitely want to go ahead and do that, and you don't need much. What most people bring, what I brought just about every time I go, is I'll bring 2 changes of clothes. So I swap back and forth between those 2 changes of clothes, and I bring something for at night. You could, if it's cold out, like during the beginning, you might want to bring like long johns or something, and you could just sleep in that. Or you could bring, if it's a little cooler out, you could just a regular cotton t-shirt and like some shorts or something. You could just sleep in, and you could swap them out, and maybe like a sweater, and definitely rain gear. You don't need rain pants. Rain jacket is all you need. And some people don't even use that. They just hike right through the rain, because you're going to get soaked anyways. Especially in the summertime, you have that rain jacket on, it's going to trap all that heat, and you're just going to sweat. So by the time you get to the end, honestly, like I brought a rain jacket, and I 99% of the time I wore it when I got to camp, just to keep a little warm. So then you light the fire, you change clothes, and you're good. If it is really, really bad, I recommend bringing like a second trash bag, and you could use that almost as like a kilt. A lot of people do that. I've done it. And then you could also use it when you're doing your laundry, so you can wash everything in one shot, And then as far as like underwear and socks, that's another thing you might want to spend a little bit more money on. It'll go a little further, and it'll be more comfortable. So Darn Tough socks are pretty good, and ex officio boxers. Again, a couple, 2, maybe 3, if you really want to be, and that should do it as far as gear goes. Maybe a hat. You're gonna be in the woods hiking the whole time, so you don't have to worry about like sunblock and big hats and all that stuff. You're not gonna get sunburned, So if you want to bring a hat, just so you can be warmer at night, or if a beanie, like maybe when you're at the beginning of your trip, that's okay. But more than that would be way overkill. All right, guys. Well, that's all I can think of for right now as far as tips, tricks, and hacks. I'm sure that there's plenty more that I'm forgetting. For the people that are watching this, if if it's something I forgot, or if I said wrong or whatever, just please, leave a comment and help the next guy, the next person who's watching this trip. Watching this video for their trip. They can help them out. All right, guys. Well, let me go enjoy this beautiful day back in the Appalachian Trail. I miss it so much, it's making me want to through hike. But anyways, yeah, let me go enjoy this day. So if you guys are going on a trip, happy hiking, and hope this video was helpful.